have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear California's in a state of turmoil. And I ask my fellow Angelenos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office?
Mel, any message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, what can I say to them? Not big admirer of either.
I don't like him.
Gavin Newsom struts through California like he's royalty, always perfectly groomed, sipping his organic juices, radiating exclusivity. But behind the polished veneer, his leadership feels more like a bad sketch. Picture Mel Gibson, storming in with full Braveheart energy to roast him. It wouldn't take much. Gibson wouldn't even need a sword. Just a mirror would do. Newsom's California is already the joke. Crumbling streets, soaring crime, broken promises, and a governor more obsessed with poses than progress.
We deserve much more and much better, and there is absolutely no adequate excuse the governor or mayor can make for this gross mismanagement and failure to preemptively deal with what they knew was...
111. The truth is, Newsom doesn't govern, he performs. California has turned into a political soap opera. As the state burns, he plays the part of a responsible leader, flawless hair and all, while behind the scenes, everything is unraveling. Residents are fleeing, jobs vanish, and families are drowning in rising costs. Rather than rolling up his sleeves, Newsom rolls in front of cameras, turning every crisis into a photo op. It's not leadership, it's theater.
And Mel Gibson had some very interesting things to say about California Governor Gavin Newsom's failure to prepare the state for these catastrophic wildfires that are ravaging LA still.
In 2019, I think Newsom said, you know, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, you know, it's sad. It's like the place is just on.
California pours billions into the problem every year. Yet the crisis keeps growing. San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Oakland look like dystopian movie sets, dense encampments, and despair everywhere. Newsom holds press conferences, announces flashy initiatives, and poses for the cameras, but nothing changes. Businesses flee, small shops close, even giants like Tesla relocate. Sky-high taxes and endless regulations drive people out, yet Gavin acts baffled. The reality is simple. Families are done paying the nation's highest costs to live in. Chaos.
How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we going to tolerate? It's time to take back our community and our state and put the power and the privilege in the hands of competent leaders whose goals are to protect us and the way of life this nation was founded upon and promises to offer. That's all.
Residents pay some of the nation's highest energy bills, only to endure rolling blackouts. Newsom brags about lending on green energy, yet the state often imports electricity just to keep the lights on. Families toss spoiled groceries, businesses lose money, and kids try to study in the dark. Gavin calls it progress, but for ordinary Californians, it feels like failure. A state this wealthy shouldn't be stuck in survival mode, but that's exactly where it is.
A lot of people have been coming out and calling out, you know, Gavin Newsom endlessly, and the biggest one of all is Mel Gibson. We all know that he is a very big, open critic of Gavin Newsom, and he continues to actually do that, and rightfully so, because we already know that there's a lot of issues going on right now within the state of California.
And then there's water. California has oceans, rivers, and snow-capped mountains, yet residents are told year after year not to water their lawns. Farmers face shortages, crops fail, and families worry about the future. Instead of building proper infrastructure, Newsom piles on restrictions. He handles water like a child, with finger paint, sloppy, careless, and always a mess. If Hollywood wanted a Mad Max backdrop, they wouldn't need a set.
Lost his house in these wildfires.
Yeah.
And what you just saw there was an effort to recall the governor and Mayor Bass. Does his star power in this matter?
It matters in the sense we're playing it now on national television on a highly rated Fox and Friends First show, and that has gone viral on social media. And meanwhile, the same day that Mel Gibson says what he says there, and he's correct on so many things as far as the management of wildfires. Gavin Newsom's approval on the handling of the wildfires is only 30%.
The pandemic exposed even more of Newsom's hypocrisy. While Californians endured lockdowns, schools closed, and businesses shuttered, he broke his own rules. Families missed weddings, funerals, and holidays. Kids struggled through glitchy Zoom classes. Meanwhile, Newsom was spotted dining at one of the state's priciest restaurants with lobbyists. It wasn't a slip, it was proof the rules didn't apply to him. While everyone else sacrificed, he wined and dined, cementing his reputation as a politician who preaches fairness but lives by double standards.
Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass, well, they were also suggesting that LA was under control. They had it covered while, of course, LA was essentially burning. And they've been blaming Donald Trump for all the chaos in LA, while Gavin Newsom has been trying to emerge as the strong leader of the Democrats as he eyes off the presidency in 3 years' time. But actor Mel Gibson has spoken out, blasting the governor and the mayor, rightfully so, for their disastrous.
California's schools and public safety are collapsing. Despite Silicon Valley and some of the nation's wealthiest communities, the state ranks embarrassingly low in basic education like math and reading. Meanwhile, crime is a daily reality. Smash and grab robberies happen in broad daylight. Stores like Walgreens and Target shut locations because theft is so rampant. Ordinary people can't even grab toothpaste without an employee unlocking the case. Gavin insists all is fine, but Californians know better. Under his leadership, the state feels less like a safe community and more like a lawlessness.
We're giving the governor advice. I'd say, don't be so overt that people can see the wheels turning. The obvious question would be, well, you've been governor of California for 6 years. You were lieutenant governor for many years before that. When did you have this epiphany? Right. And the answer is when he found that the Republicans could weaponize.
Regular families can't afford homes. Young professionals cram into apartments with multiple roommates, well into their 30s, and families are squeezed into tiny spaces. Every year, Newsom unveils a new affordable housing plan, but nothing changes. He cuts ribbons on projects with a handful of units while millions remain priced out. Meanwhile, Gavin polishes his image for national politics, strutting like America is begging for his leadership. In reality, his record is a blooper reel.
Do a better job. We need competent, good governance. Now, that doesn't mean you can't criticize the governor of California for, I think, some very bad decisions over a very long period of time. I mean, some of these reservoirs have been dry for 15, 20 years. The fire hydrants are being reported as going dry while the firefighters.
Politics like Hollywood treats movies. It's all about image. He gives speeches in designer suits, appears at disasters camera ready, and stages every press conference like a photo shoot. Meanwhile, California is burning, breaking, and falling apart. He preaches about climate change while flying private jets, lectures on inequality while sipping wine in mansions, and warns about oil companies while riding in motorcades. Every wildfire season turns homes to ash. Yet for Newsom, it's just another chance to pose at a podium and look concerned.
And look at Gavin Newsom. He tried to do this, was it a radio show, a podcast, whatever he tried to do. Now he's busy trolling on social media, and it's cringe, it's falling flat. I'm sure they'll come after me now, who cares? Because Donald Trump is one of one. Only he can do what he's done with social media, with podcasts, in the way he's done it. 900 rallies.
Management is another joke. California has some of the highest taxes in the country, yet the state always seems broke. One year, Newsom announces a massive budget surplus. The next, it's gone without explanation. Roads crumble, schools underperform, crime rise. He insists he's making historic investments. In reality, historic means spectacularly wasteful. The money disappears, and Californians see nothing. If California were a movie, it would be called The Money Pit. Sacramento.
A lot of the cities that you can't conceal carry, or it's extremely hard to get concealed carry, or California being one of them, Illinois, New York. I mean, do you think that everyday citizens carrying a gun reduces crime or increases crime?
I think the evidence suggests the opposite. It increases the likelihood of a gun.
Gas prices are sky high in California, and everyone knows why. Newsom blames oil companies but ignores the endless taxes and regulations piled on fuel. While folks in Texas or Arizona fill up for the price of a burger, Californians need a loan just to fill their tank. Families are fleeing to Texas, Florida, and Arizona for lower costs and more opportunity. Newsom survived a recall not because of leadership, but because the opposition was disorganized. Californians didn't rally behind him, they simply had no better option.
Words. He doesn't say crime goes up, he says gun deaths go up. Why? Because that phrasing triggers your brain into thinking guns are the problem. But let's break that down. If you've got more guns in one state than the other, obviously the number of deaths involving guns is going to be higher in that state. That doesn't mean it's more dangerous. It just means the tools used are different. You know where the gun death rate...
Gavin Newsom isn't a leader, he's a cautionary tale. California, once the golden state of opportunity and dreams, has become a land of potholes, blackouts, soaring prices, and broken promises. He runs the state like a PR campaign, more focused on lighting and camera angles than results. Yet he genuinely believes this disaster record qualifies him for the White House. History won't remember him as a visionary or strong leader. It will remember a man who looked like a governor but governed like an actor pretending to be one. The hair will gray, the smirk will fade, but the wreckage of his policies